The features in Manage Jobs enable you to organize your jobs and perform important file maintenance tasks, including backup, delete, and restore. In this lesson, we'll focus on the most important file maintenance task, backup. You will back up your jobs and other important files to safeguard work in progress and to store completed jobs. Before we proceed, I just want to make sure that you understand when you hear me say backup, I could mean a couple of different things. When I use the phrase back up as a verb, I'm talking about making a copy of a file or a group of files, compressing them, and then placing them in another location such as a USB flash drive, SD card, or external hard drive. When I use the word backup as a noun, I mean either the name of the Catalyst function that you will use to create the copy of a file or a group of files in another location, or I will be referring to the package of one or more files that have already been compressed and copied. The first step is to select the media to which you will be backing up. Then, either place that media in the appropriate drive or connect the drive to the computer. For example, if I were going to back up to an external hard drive or a flash drive, I would make sure that the drive was connected to an available USB port. Windows Autoplay options are set by default to ask what you want to do when backup media is connected or inserted. The Autoplay dialog will also let you know what letter has been assigned to the drive. If you do not see the Autoplay dialog when you insert or connect backup media, you can also click Start and then Computer to identify the letter of the connected drive. It'll be important to know what letter is assigned so that you can select it when Catalyst asks for the location of your backup media during the backup function. Let's begin by backing up all of the files in the System Files case. The System Files case contains files that are vital to transcript production, including your personal dictionary and dozens of other files that are customized by you as you work in various functions. If you ever need to reinstall Case Catalyst on this system or another computer, it will be much easier and more convenient to simply restore all of these files from a backup than to recreate or re-customize each individual file. To select the case and all files inside it, I'll click System Files. There are 4 quick, convenient ways to select the backup feature. I can click the backup button on the toolbar, or I can click the Tools menu and then click Backup. I can press the Control-B shortcut key, or I can right-click the System Files case and then click Backup. The plus symbol next to the case indicates that there are additional cases and/or files inside the case. The check mark in the box next to the System Files case indicates that the case and all files inside the case are selected. Here, where it says Save In, you'll select the location of your backup media. My external hard drive is labeled F, so I'll select the F drive. Once you select the backup media, you'll see how many bytes of space are available for your backup here. The amount of bytes you're planning to back up is listed in the lower left corner here. Now when you back up, the file will be zipped. That means it will be compressed. Most subfiles will be compressed to a fraction of their original size. So as long as the number for the amount of space available is larger than the amount of space required by the files being backed up, you won't have to worry about your files fitting on your backup media. When you're backing up unrelated jobs, you may prefer to save each file in a separate backup package with the same name as the job. When you're backing up a group of related files, you may prefer to save all of the files together in a single package with a single name. I can tell Catalyst my preferences for what I'm backing up by clicking Options. As I'm backing up all of the files in the System Files case, it would make sense to select Single Package. If you want a specific file name to be suggested every time you back up files to a single package, you could enter it here, or leave it blank, and you can enter a file name later. You can also add the current date to the zip file name. We'll talk about these other options a little later in the lesson. Right now, I'm going to click OK and proceed with backing up these files. Next, I need to name this backup package. The best name is one that identifies what's inside the package, so I'll call it System Files. Now, to start backing up, I'll click Save. That's all there is to it. I've backed up all of the files in my System Files case to a single package called systemfiles.zip, and they are safely stored on my external hard drive. Next, let's back up a couple of job files. Let's say I want to back up the Keys job and the Norris job to a flash drive. First, I'll plug the flash drive into an available USB port. Windows has informed me that G has been assigned to the flash drive. I'll close this dialog. I'll select the files I want to back up. You've selected multiple items before, but just a reminder as to how that's done. Click the first file, then press and hold down Control, and then click the second file. Next, I'll use my preferred method to select the backup function. Just a reminder, I can click the Backup button on the toolbar, or I can click the Tools menu and then click Backup. I can press the Control-B shortcut key, or I can right-click the selected files and then click Backup. The last time I backed up, it backed up to F, which is my external hard drive. But this time, I want to back up to the flash drive, so at Save In, I'll select G, the letter assigned to my flash drive. Catalyst also remembers that the last time I backed up, I wanted to back up all of the files I selected to a single package. However, this time, I don't want to back up both Keys and Norris to the same package, so I'll click Options and change my backup settings. This time, I'll select Separate zip files. And now there are some other options available which I should make some decisions about for these job files. Audio files can be very large and require a lot more available space than other file types. I can set backup to always back up audio files, to never back up audio files, or I can have Catalyst warn me that I'm about to back up audio and then give me the choice whether or not to include the audio with the rest of the files, or cancel the backup. By the way, unlike other subfiles, zipping won't compress an audio file very much at all. The compression for an audio file takes place at the time the file is recorded. So if you are backing up audio, you'll want to make sure you've got enough space available for the entire backup. There are two other file types that are optional for backup. One is the Steno X-ray file with true stroke data. The other is the index log file. This is a file created by the Build Index feature if there were errors during the process of building an index. If you're backing up the files to transfer the job to another computer to continue working on the job, you may want these files. However, if the job is finished and delivered to a client, these files are no longer necessary and you may prefer not to include them in a backup. Alright, my options are set the way I want them, so I'll click OK. And now I'm ready to back up these two files, and I'll go ahead and click Save. This dialog box lets me know that I've backed up files to the name keysoctober10.zip on this flash drive before. It can't create a second keysoctober10.zip file, so instead it's giving me two options. I can replace the existing backup, which would delete the original keysoctober10.zip file and all of the subfiles inside it, and create a new keysoctober10.zip file containing only the files I've chosen to back up now. Or I can add to the existing backup. This would add the updated versions of any file I've got selected to the original keysoctober10.zip file. If you choose to add to the existing backup, then you have two more options, which tell Case Catalyst what to do if you have an older file on your hard disk and are backing it up to a package that contains a newer version of the same file. Your choices are overwritten only if the file being added is newer. You would select this if you want Catalyst to protect you by never overwriting newer files with older versions of the same file. Or you can select Always Be Overwritten and tell Catalyst to stay out of the decision-making process and not protect you from backing up older versions of a file and overwriting newer versions. The recommended selections for these options are the ones selected by default: Add to the existing backup and Overwritten only if the file being added is newer. You now know how to back up your files, the most important file maintenance task. The following is a list of good backup habits to develop. Back up all work in progress whenever you plan to leave your computer for more than a few minutes. Keep a current backup of all of the files in your system files case. Back up completed jobs before deleting them. Create more than one backup on different media. Now would be a great time to practice backing up files. Go into the training user and follow the directions for Exercise 1 in the Manage Jobs Practice document. Then, proceed with the next lesson in order.